World Information HD channel. What if I told you that a simple, old penny could be worth millions of dollars? That tiny 1-cent coin you might have ignored at the bottom of a drawer or inside a dusty coin jar could actually make you rich. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of rare Lincoln wheat pennies, those little copper coins minted between 1909 and 1958 that are now some of the most sought-after collectibles in the world. These are not just ordinary pennies. Some of them are valued at tens of thousands, even millions of dollars. So don't go anywhere. Here are the top 11 most valuable and rare Lincoln wheat pennies that have changed people's lives forever. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating world of the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. This little copper coin might look ordinary to the untrained eye, but it carries a rich history and, in some rare cases, can be worth as much as $33,898. So, if you have one sitting in your coin jar or tucked away in an old collection, keep watching because you might be holding onto a treasure. Let's dig into the incredible story of the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny and discover how this 1-cent coin can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. First, a quick introduction to the Lincoln wheat penny itself. Introduced in 1909, the Lincoln cent was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse or front of the coin features Lincoln's bust, while the reverse displays two stylized wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This iconic design ran until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Now, let's talk specifically about the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. Coins without a mint mark during this era were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. And in 1941, Philadelphia struck an astonishing number of these coins, over 887 million, to be exact. With such a massive mintage, you might be thinking this coin must be very common and not worth much. And for most circulated examples, that's true. But here's where things get interesting. While the average worn 1941 no mint mark penny is only worth a few cents to a couple of dollars, certain factors can send its value skyrocketing, especially if it's in pristine condition or has rare mint errors. High-grade examples that have been professionally graded as MS-66 or higher can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. And one particular 1941 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark sold for an astonishing $33,898. That's right, over $33,000 for a 1-cent coin. Why? Because of its exceptional condition, rarity, and collector demand. Let's break it down further. What makes a 1941 penny worth a fortune? There are 4 key things to look for. First is condition. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Coins that are uncirculated and show no signs of wear, those are called mint state coins, can be worth significantly more. Most high-value 1941 pennies are graded MS-66 red or higher. Red refers to the color of the coin. Copper coins naturally darken over time, but if a penny still has its original bright red luster from the mint, it's much more desirable to collectors. Second, eye appeal. Coins that are perfectly struck, with clean surfaces and no distracting marks or stains, tend to bring top dollar. Add a beautiful copper red glow, and you've got a winning combination. Third, rarity of the grade. Even though millions of 1941 pennies were made, only a tiny fraction survive in top grades. A coin that looks perfect to the naked eye might only grade MS-64. Getting a 66 or 67 red is incredibly rare, and that rarity drives value. And fourth, market demand. Coin collecting is a huge hobby around the world, and certain dates and types of coins are more popular than others. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is a key date for many collectors, especially when found in gem condition. So, how can you tell if your 1941 penny is worth money? Start by flipping the coin over and examining both sides. Look for sharp details on Lincoln's face, clear lettering, and no major scratches or damage. If the coin has that original red color and looks untouched, you might be looking at something special. Next, check for errors. Some 1941 Lincoln pennies feature rare minting mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or lamination errors. These can add tremendous value, depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Now, let's talk numbers. Most circulated 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies are worth between 5 and 50 cents. Higher grade circulated examples might bring $1 to $5. Uncirculated examples, graded MS-60 to MS-64, can sell for $10 to $100. MS-65 red coins can reach $150 to $300. MS-66 red coins often command $1,000 to $3,000. But the elite coins, MS-67 red or higher, are the true stars. These are the ones that cross into the five-figure range. The $33,898 sale was for a stunning example graded MS-67 Plus red by PCGS, one of the most respected grading services in the world. Only a handful of 1941 no-mint mark pennies exist in this elite condition, which is why collectors are willing to pay such premium prices. If you think you have a valuable 1941 penny, the best thing to do is get it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC are the two major coin grading companies. They will examine your coin, assign it a grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder. This not only protects your coin but also proves its authenticity and helps establish its market value. Collectors are always on the hunt for high-grade examples of classic coins like the 1941 Lincoln cent. And as time goes on, the number of well-preserved coins continues to shrink, making top-tier examples even more valuable. So next time you're sifting through a handful of old pennies, don't overlook that 1941 coin with no mint mark. It might look simple, but it carries decades of history and possibly a small fortune. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep an eye out for these copper gems. You never know, you might just have a $33,898 penny in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible coin stories, values, and tips. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Until next time, keep collecting and stay curious. Are you one of those lucky people who love checking old coins? Maybe you've stumbled across an old penny and wondered, could this be worth something? Well, if you're holding a 1942 Lincoln wheat penny, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Some of these rare coins are now worth up to $31,838 in today's collector market. That's not just pocket change, that's real money. In this video, we're diving deep into the history, rarity, and current value of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny and what makes this little copper coin so incredibly valuable. Let's begin by exploring the fascinating background of this unique piece of American history. The Lincoln wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, a significant move away from classical imagery used in earlier American coins. The front, or obverse, of the coin features Lincoln's profile, while the reverse side displays two wheat stalks encircling the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design remained in use until 1958. Now, let's talk about the year 1942. The United States was deep into World War II. While the nation was gearing up for major resource allocation toward the war effort, the mint was still using copper to strike pennies. But the shift in priorities had already started, and just a year later in 1943, the U.S. Mint would switch from copper to zinc-coated steel for pennies to save copper for wartime needs. In 1942, three mints were producing Lincoln cents: Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver. The coin we're focusing on today is the 1942 penny, produced in Denver. Over 206 million of these were minted, so at first glance, it doesn't seem like a rare coin. But there's a twist. It's not just about how many were minted, it's about condition, rarity, errors, and collector demand. Let's now uncover what makes certain 1942 wheat pennies so valuable. Most circulated 1942 pennies are only worth a few cents to a couple of dollars. But collectors are hunting for coins that have been preserved in pristine condition, known as mint state, or MS coins graded MS-66 or MS-67 red by professional grading companies such as PCGS or NGC are exceptionally rare. The red grade refers to the bright, original copper color that's been preserved over decades without toning or corrosion. Now here's the exciting part. A 1942D Lincoln Wheat penny in mint state 67 red condition sold for a whopping $31,838. Yes, nearly $32,000 for a single penny. Why? Because coins of this grade are extremely rare. Only a tiny number of these coins have survived in such pristine condition. Most have been circulated, scratched, worn down, or lost to history. But that's not the only thing that can boost value. Let's talk about mint errors and die varieties. Some 1942D wheat pennies feature repunched mint marks or doubling on the date and lettering. These types of errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their severity and condition. Collectors love error coins because they are so unique. No two are exactly the same. For example, if you have a 1942D penny with a repunched mint mark, also known as RPM, it might be worth $50 to several $100s even in moderately circulated condition. In uncirculated grades, error varieties like these can sell for thousands. So how can you tell if your 1942D penny is valuable? Start by checking for the D mint mark just below the date. That confirms it was minted in Denver. Then inspect the coin's surface. Is it shiny, coppery red, and free of scratches? That's a good sign. You should also check for doubling, repunched marks, or off-center strikes. If it looks promising, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade is what turns a coin from a curiosity into a five-figure payday. Even if you don't have the ultra-rare MS-67 red penny, lower-grade uncirculated examples can still be worth between $50 and $200. Circulated versions with clear detail and minor wear can fetch $1 to $5, depending on the market. Now, let's look at recent sales and trends to understand why prices are skyrocketing. In recent years, the demand for rare and historical coins has surged. With the rise of coin collecting communities online, plus investment interest in rare tangible assets, collectors are paying record prices for high-grade wheat pennies. The 1942D is a favorite among collectors because of its pre-war history, mint errors, and connection to the classic wheat penny design. The top sale of $31,838 wasn't a fluke. Other coins graded MS-67 red have sold for $20,000, $16,800, and $14,500 depending on eye appeal and auction competition. Even a single point drop in grade can reduce the value significantly, showing just how crucial quality is in the world of rare coins. If you think you might have one of these coins, store it safely. Don't clean it, don't rub it, and don't throw it in with other coins. Put it in a soft coin holder or flip and consult with a professional numismatist or grading company. Let's wrap it up. The 1942D Lincoln Wheat penny is more than just a coin, it's a piece of American history. Born during one of the most turbulent times in the world, this copper penny tells a story of transition, war, and survival. And in rare cases, it tells a story of hidden wealth. With a current market value of up to $31,838, it's one of the most exciting finds a collector or lucky owner can discover. So go ahead, check your old coin jars, ask your grandparents, or visit a local flea market. That one little penny could change everything. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more rare coin stories, tips, and collector secrets. Who knows, your next lucky penny might be hiding just around the corner. Thanks for watching. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, and this 1-cent coin might just surprise you. We're talking about the 1942 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny. A coin that looks ordinary at first glance but could be hiding a fortune in your pocket or coin jar. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the full story behind this humble yet potentially $31,268 penny. That's right, just 1 cent, worth tens of thousands of dollars if you've got the right one. The Lincoln Wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking the tradition of using symbolic representations like Lady Liberty. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse side of the penny featured two wheat ears, giving rise to the nickname Wheat Penny. Now, the year 1942 was a crucial time in American history. The United States was deeply involved in World War II, and the economy was heavily focused on supporting the war effort. Copper was a valuable war material, used in ammunition and equipment, and so the U.S. Mint was under pressure to conserve this metal for military use. Most 1942 Lincoln pennies were made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the standard composition at the time. However, this was the final year before the drastic material change that came in 1943, when the mint switched to steel-coated zinc pennies to save copper for the war. Here's where things get interesting. The 1942 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The absence of a mint mark is your clue. It means the coin came from Philadelphia, as they didn't use a mint mark at that time. Now, here's the important part. Most of these pennies are common. Over 657 million were minted in Philadelphia alone in 1942. That's a huge number. So, for the average circulated coin, you might get anywhere from 5 cents to $1.50 depending on the condition. But here's where the magic happens. Some rare 1942 pennies, especially those in mint state condition or with unique errors, can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. Let's break it down. If you find a 1942 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it was never used in everyday transactions and has no wear, it could fetch anywhere from $50 to $200 or more just for its pristine condition. Now, if you have a coin that has been graded MS65 or higher by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, it can be worth even more. In fact, one MS67 Plus Red, RD, graded 1942 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, bright red in color, beautifully struck, and nearly flawless, was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $31,268. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny. Sold for over $31,000. Why so much? What made that coin so special? Well, let's talk about 3 key factors that affect the value of rare pennies like this. 1.1. Condition and grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A coin graded MS60 or above is considered uncirculated or mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. MS65 and above are considered gem quality. But MS67 and MS68 are extremely rare, and that's where the big money comes in. Point 2. Color designation. Copper coins are graded not just by wear but also by color: brown, BN, red brown, RB, and red RD. A red coin means it retains almost all of its original mint luster. These are the most sought after by collectors. That $31,268 1942 Lincoln penny. It was graded MS67 Plus RD. Practically perfect. Point 3. Errors and variations. Some 1942 Lincoln pennies have errors that make them extremely valuable. Here are some examples. Double die obverse. This means the design on the front of the coin was stamped twice slightly off alignment, causing a noticeable doubling effect on the date or lettering. These can be worth hundreds to thousands depending on the severity. Off-center strikes. Coins that were misaligned during striking and appear off-center can also fetch big bucks. Repunched mint marks, RPM. While the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark, similar coins from Denver and San Francisco with repunched marks are worth collecting. Now you might be wondering, how can I tell if my 1942 penny is valuable? Here's a quick checklist. Check the date and mint mark. If it has no mint mark, it's from Philadelphia. Look at the condition. Is the coin shiny, red, and free from scratches? It might be uncirculated. Examine it for errors. Use a magnifying glass or a coin microscope to look for doubling or off-center strikes. Consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service. This can drastically increase your chances of selling it at auction for full value. Now let's talk about current market trends. The demand for rare coins, especially wheat pennies, has been on the rise in recent years. Collectors, investors, and even history buffs are all diving into the hobby. And as more people enter the market, the the prices for premium coins continue to go up. In online marketplaces and auction houses, 1942 no-mint mark pennies in MS66 RD condition are currently selling between $1,000 and $4,000. Exceptional coins can go for $10,000 or more depending on competition and rarity. And remember, that $31,268 sale wasn't from decades ago. It was from a modern auction, showing that top-grade examples still generate serious interest today. So before you toss that old penny aside, or cash in your coin jar for a coffee, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure. In summary, the 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is a historic and highly collectible coin. While most are worth a few cents, high-grade examples can fetch thousands of dollars. The most valuable known sale of this coin reached $31,268 at auction. Key factors include condition, color, grading, and possible minting errors. If you think you might have one of these rare coins, consult a numismatic expert, or have it professionally graded. Who knows? That tiny 1-cent piece could turn into a life-changing payday. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare US coins and want more videos about valuable pennies, nickels, quarters, and hidden treasures, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. And remember, always check your change, because even a penny could be worth a fortune. See you in the next video. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures sitting quietly in your pocket change or tucked away in your coin jar. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and surprisingly valuable coins in American history, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it might look like just another old penny, but some of these coins have fetched up to $29,377 at auction. That's right, a single cent that could be worth nearly $30,000. So, how do you know if you have the right one? Let's break down the fascinating history, what makes it rare, and how you can cash in on this humble copper coin. History of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Fast forward to 1944, a year right in the middle of World War II. America was deeply involved in the war effort, and materials like steel, copper, and nickel were in high demand for military manufacturing. In 1943, the U.S. Mint had struck pennies from zinc-coated steel to conserve copper for wartime needs. These steel cents had a silvery appearance and were infamous for rusting quickly or being mistaken for dimes. But in 1944, the Mint returned to copper. Specifically, it used recycled ammunition shell casings to produce pennies for circulation. So if you own a 1944 penny, it's very likely made from recycled war materials, a piece of history you can hold in your hand. These 1944 pennies were struck in massive numbers. Over 1.4 billion were made, spread across 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins have no mint mark, and that's the version we're focusing on today. How to identify the 1944 no mint mark wheat penny. Now let's get into the details of how you can spot one. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, you'll see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head reads the phrase, "In God we trust," and to the left, you'll see the word, "Liberty." On the right side of the coin is the date, 1944. If your coin was minted in Philadelphia, it will not have a mint mark under the date. If it says D or S, it came from Denver or San Francisco, respectively. On the reverse, you'll find 2 wheat stalks flanking the phrases 1 cent and United States of America, with the motto E pluribus unum above. This classic wheat reverse was used from 1909 to 1958. If your 1944 penny has no mint mark, it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and that's the one collectors really want to inspect closely. Why some 1944 no mint mark pennies are worth thousands, you might be wondering. If over 1 billion were made, how can any of them be worth thousands? Great question. The truth is, not all 1944 pennies are valuable. In fact, most are worth just a few cents to $1, depending on condition. But a small number of rare varieties and mint errors are the reason some 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln cents are valued at over $29,000. Here are the most important factors that can skyrocket the value of your coin. 1. High-grade condition, mint state or uncirculated. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. If your 1944 penny is in pristine, mint state condition, with no scratches, marks, or wear, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, a 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln penny graded MS68 red by PCGS sold for a whopping $29,377 at auction. Collectors prize coins with a red RD designation, meaning the copper color is bright and hasn't turned brown from age or exposure. Most circulated pennies appear brown or red-brown, which are less valuable. 2. Off-metal errors. The legendary steel 1944 penny. Now this is the jackpot. In rare cases, some 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943. These are often referred to as 1944 steel wheat pennies and are extremely rare. If you find a 1944 no-mint mark penny that looks silver or doesn't stick to a magnet, you could be holding a coin worth over $100,000. Always test your 1944 penny with a magnet. If it sticks, it's steel. But keep in mind, regular 1944 pennies should be copper and won't react to a magnet. 3. Double dies and other minting errors. Another factor that increases value is minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets. A 1944 double die obverse, where the date and lettering appear doubled, is highly collectible and can be worth hundreds to thousands depending on the clarity and condition of the doubling. How to check the value of your 1944 penny? If you have a 1944 penny with no mint mark, here's what you should do. Inspect it carefully under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Check the color. Is it red, red-brown, or brown? Look for any doubling, errors, or unusual features. Test it with a magnet too. Check for steel content. Compare it with images online or submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. If your coin appears to be in excellent condition or has an error, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin can damage its surface and significantly lower its value. Always let professionals handle grading and authentication. Current market value in 2025. As of 2025, a typical circulated 1944 no-mint mark penny is worth between 3 cents and $1, depending on wear and condition. But high-grade, uncirculated examples with a red designation are selling for $1,000 to $29,377, and in some rare error cases, even more. For example, MS66 red $100, $150, MS67 red $500, $1000, MS68 red up to $29. 377, 1944 steel error, $75,000 to over $100,000. These coins are constantly gaining value, and collectors are always searching for top-grade or rare examples to add to their collections. Where to sell or get it appraised? If you think you've got a valuable 1944 penny, your best option is to have it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Once graded, you can sell it through online auction sites like eBay or Heritage Auctions, local or national coin shows, certified coin dealers, coin collectors forums, or Facebook groups. Make sure you do your research and never rush into a sale without knowing your coin's potential. The 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a piece of pocket change. It's a piece of American history, and in some rare cases, a small fortune waiting to be discovered. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just stumbled upon an old penny in your drawer, now is the time to take a closer look. You never know, that ordinary-looking coin might be the next big treasure worth $29,377 or more. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins worth money, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment below if you think you have a rare penny or want us to feature another coin in our next video. Happy hunting and good luck, your fortune might be just 1 penny away. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover hidden treasures in your pocket change. Today, we're talking about a coin that might be sitting unnoticed in your house, the 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. Most people don't even look at their old pennies. But what if I told you that one of these could be worth up to $26,999? Yes, a single penny, almost $27,000. In this video, we'll explore everything you need to know about this amazing coin. Its history, how it was made, the rare errors that make some of them extremely valuable, and how to check if you might have one of the rarest versions out there. Let's get started. Let's go back to the year 1945. It was a major turning point in world history. World War II was coming to an end, and America was shifting back to normal life. But during the war, materials like copper and tin were being used for military equipment, so even coins were affected. In 1943, pennies were made from steel to save copper for the war effort. But by 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to using copper for the Lincoln cents, and that continued in 1945. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the beloved wheat cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. It features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and 2 wheat ears on the back. This was the last full year of wartime production coins, and the Philadelphia Mint, which made these particular no-mint mark pennies, struck over 1 billion of them, precisely 1,040,515,000 to be exact. Since the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark on pennies at that time, any 1945 penny without a mint mark was produced there. Now, with more than 1 billion produced, it sounds like this coin should be common, right? And yes, in average condition, most 1945 wheat pennies aren't worth more than a few cents. But that's only part of the story. The real value comes in the details. The rare mistakes, errors, and special conditions that make a coin extremely collectible. So what makes certain 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies worth a fortune? Let's take a closer look at the rare errors and varieties that can turn this ordinary penny into one that's worth thousands, and even up to $26,999. The first one is the steel planchet error. This is incredibly rare. Remember those steel pennies made in 1943 to conserve copper during the war? Well, a few leftover steel planchets, blank coin discs, were accidentally used in 1945. These pennies look different. They have a silver-gray color, they're magnetic, and they weigh less than copper pennies. If you find a 1945 penny that sticks to a magnet, it might be one of the rare steel planchet errors. One of these sold at auction for an unbelievable $26,999. The second variety is the double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin die, which stamps the design, is struck twice out of alignment. This creates a noticeable doubling on the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." These double die errors are extremely collectible. Depending on condition, these coins can range from a few $100s to several $1,000s. Another error to watch for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't centered properly when struck by the press, resulting in a design that's shifted to one side. A minor off-center strike might only be worth $50 to $100, but the more extreme the error, especially if the date is still visible, the more valuable it becomes. Some off-center 1945 pennies have sold for over $500. Then there's the BIE die break. This is a small die crack that forms between the letters B and E in the word liberty, which makes it look like the word BIE. It's a fun little anomaly that collectors love. These usually sell for around $10 to $50 depending on their condition. There's also the extremely rare possibility of a penny being struck on a foreign planchet, a blank intended for a different country's coin. These errors can result in odd sizes, weights, and colors. If you come across a 1945 penny that looks strange or feels unusually light, it might be one of these rare off-metal errors, which can be worth thousands. Now let's talk about condition, because that plays a huge role in determining how much your coin is worth. Coin collectors use a 70-point scale to grade coins. The higher the number, the better the condition. Coins that are uncirculated and graded as MS65 or higher are the ones that bring in big money. For example, a 1945 no-mint mark penny in average circulated condition might only be worth 5 to 15 cents. But an uncirculated MS65 red specimen can bring anywhere from $100 to $150. An MS67 red penny, extremely rare, can sell for $1,000 or more. And when that high grade combines with an error like a steel planchet or a double die, you could be looking at a coin worth many thousands, even up to $26,999, as seen in a recent auction. Color matters too. Coins that have retained their full red color from the time of minting are more valuable than those that have darkened over time. Collectors categorize color into 3 types: brown, red-brown, and red. A red penny in mint condition is the most desirable and will fetch the highest price. So how can you tell if your 1945 penny is one of the valuable ones? First, check the weight. A normal copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams. A steel penny weighs about 2.7 grams. Next, try the magnet test. If your penny sticks to a magnet, that's a big red flag, in a good way. It could be a rare steel version. Use a magnifier to check for doubling in the lettering or the date. If you see clear signs of a doubled image, you may have a double die penny. Examine the coin's strike and shape. If it's off-center or oddly shaped, you may be holding an error coin. Look at the color. A bright red penny is worth more than a dull brown one, and red pennies that are uncirculated are especially desirable. If your coin shows promise, consider sending it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade can significantly increase your coin's resale value and attract serious buyers. So what is a 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny worth today in 2025? In average condition, just 1 to 50 cents. In uncirculated condition, $10 to $60. MS65 red, $100 to $150. MS67 red, over $1,000. Double die error, $200 to $5,000 or more. Steel planchet error, up to $26,999. The key takeaway is that while most 1945 pennies are common, some are extremely rare and valuable. And unless you know what to look for, you might just pass over a tiny treasure hiding in plain sight. So check your drawers. Look through your piggy banks, coin jars, and old collections. That ordinary-looking penny could turn out to be a life-changing find. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more amazing coin stories. Drop a comment if you think you found a rare penny. We'd love to hear from you. And who knows, your next penny might just be worth $26,999. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coin hunting. Have you ever come across an old penny and wondered if it might be worth a fortune? What if I told you that a simple 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny with no mint mark could be worth up to $24,679? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true. This small copper coin, often overlooked and tossed into jars or drawers, might be the key to your next big payday. In this video, we'll reveal the secrets of the 1951 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny. From its fascinating history to the rare varieties and errors that make it so valuable today, we'll cover everything you need to know to see if you're holding one of these money-making coins. So stay tuned, because the next penny you examine could be worth thousands of dollars. Let's start with a little history. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat cent is part of the beloved Wheat penny series minted from 1909 to 1958. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this series was created to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse of the coin features Lincoln's profile, with the words, "In God We Trust." Across the top, Liberty on the left, and the date, 1951, on the right. Now here's the key detail. If your penny has no mint mark under the date, that means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And while millions were made, certain examples, especially those in mint condition or with rare errors, have sold for thousands of dollars in recent years. The reverse of the coin shows the iconic wheat stalks on both sides, with 1 cent and United States of America in the center, and the motto, E pluribus unum, At the top. In 1951, the Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 284,576,000 Lincoln wheat pennies without a mint mark. That's a large number, which means in average circulated condition, most 1951 pennies aren't particularly rare. But remember, what makes this coin special isn't the mintage alone. It's the condition, rarity of errors, and quality of strike that can drive values through the roof. And some coins, especially those in pristine condition or with minting flaws, have fetched massive prices. One such coin recently sold for an incredible $24,679. Now let's get into what can really make a 1951 no-mint mark wheat penny valuable: the rare varieties and errors. Here are the key things to look for. Double die obverse, DDO. One of the most valuable errors is the double die obverse. This happens when the die used to strike the coin has a misaligned impression, causing parts of the design, especially the date, liberty, or motto, to appear doubled. A strong DDO from 1951 can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on condition. Repunched mint mark, RPM, rare on Philly planchet. While Philadelphia pennies don't typically have mint marks, there are rare instances where dies originally intended for Denver or San Francisco mints were reused. If you spot traces of a repunched mint mark, especially under magnification, it could be extremely rare and highly valuable. BIE error. A fun and collectible die break error is the BIE error, a small vertical line between the B and E in Liberty that looks like the letter I. These can range from $5 to $75 depending on sharpness and condition. Off-center strike. When a coin is struck off-center, part of the design is missing, and the coin appears misaligned. A 1951 wheat penny that is 40% to 60% off-center can be worth $100 to over $500, especially if the date is still fully visible. Die cracks and cuts. A cut is a raised blob of metal that appears on the rim of the coin due to a piece of the die breaking off. Large, dramatic cuts can bring in significant premiums, up to several $100s for dramatic examples. Struck on foreign planchets. Some incredibly rare 1951 pennies were accidentally struck on planchets meant for foreign coins or dimes. These can weigh less than the standard 3.11 grams or have slightly different coloring. If certified, these can easily sell for $1,000 to $3,000 or more. Now let's talk about grading, the single most important factor in determining the value of any coin. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1, poor, to 70, perfect mint state. For pennies, especially wheat pennies, grades like MS65 red, MS66 red, and higher are where the real value lies. A 1951 penny in circulated condition might fetch only 5 cents to $1. But a 1951 penny in mint state 65 red, meaning it has full original red color and no wear, can be worth $100 to $500. And in some cases, collectors have paid thousands for specimens in MS67 red or MS67 plus red condition, especially if they are graded by top companies like PCGS or NGC. One record-breaking example: a 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny graded MS67 plus red by PCGS sold for an astonishing $24,679 at a heritage auction. That's nearly $25,000 for a single penny. Want to know if your 1951 penny is one of the rare, valuable ones? Here's what you should do: check the color. Red coins, not brown or red-brown, are worth the most. Red means the original copper luster is still present. Look closely for doubling. Use a jeweler's loupe or coin microscope to check for doubled letters or numbers. Inspect. Liberty. For BIE errors, a tiny die crack between the B and E could be worth money. Weigh it. It should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it's significantly more or less, it could be a rare planchet error. Check for die cracks and off-center strikes. These are visible without magnification in some cases. Send it to a professional grading service. If your coin looks mint state or has a clear error, submit it to PCGS, NGC, or Annex for certification. Right now, the market for rare wheat pennies is hot. Collectors are pouring big money into rare, well-preserved Lincoln cents, especially those from the 1940s and 1950s with high grades or rare varieties. A coin like the 1951 no mint mark wheat penny has historical appeal, scarcity in high grades, and rare variety potential, all the right ingredients for a high-value collector's item, whether you're a casual collector or a serious investor. Now is the time to check your old coin jars, piggy banks, and family heirlooms. The right penny, in the right condition, could change your life. So there you have it, the surprising truth behind the 1951 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. While millions were made, only a small number have the quality or error features that make them worth thousands. And one exceptional example has already sold for $24,679. Now it's your turn. Go check your coin collection. Look closely. Examine every detail. Because that one forgotten penny might just make you a fortune. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin facts, and drop a comment below if you think you might have a valuable 1951 penny or want help identifying one. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting! Did you know that a simple penny from 1952 could make you over $23,000 richer today? That's right. If you've got a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark hiding in a jar, drawer, or coin collection, it could be worth as much as $23,557. Sounds unbelievable? Well, in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the history, unique features, rare errors, and shocking market value of the 1952 no mint mark Lincoln cent. Stick around, because this is one penny you'll never look at the same way again. Let's take a step back to 1952. It was a time when Harry S. Truman was president, gasoline was 20 cents a gallon, and a loaf of bread cost about 16 cents. But in the world of coins, the United States Mint was still producing one of its most iconic pieces, the Lincoln wheat penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features a profile of Lincoln facing right, with the motto, "In God We Trust." At the top, Liberty, to the left, and the year, in this case, 1952, on the right. The reverse side displays two wheat stalks flanking the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. This classic design, known as the wheat reverse, remained in use until 1958. The 1952 penny with no mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, Philadelphia minted coins from this era don't have any letter under the date. So, if your 1952 penny doesn't show a D or an S, that means it came from Philly, and you might want to look a little closer. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 186 million Lincoln cents in 1952 without a mint mark. That's a lot of pennies. Because of this high mintage, many people assume the coin is common and not valuable. But the truth is, condition and errors change everything. Out of those millions of coins, only a handful have survived in perfect, untouched condition. And even fewer have rare and valuable minting errors that make them worth thousands of dollars to collectors. Section 3. What makes it valuable? So what turns a regular 1952 wheat penny into a five-figure treasure? The answer lies in condition, color, rarity, and errors. First, let's talk about condition. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A grade of 1 means the coin is heavily worn and barely identifiable. A grade of 70, known as mint state perfect, means the coin is flawless under magnification. Now here's where it gets exciting. A 1952 no mint mark penny graded mint state 67 red, meaning it still has its original coppery red luster and is virtually pristine, recently sold at auction for an incredible $23,557. Only a few coins ever survive this long in perfect condition. They were likely pulled from circulation the moment they were minted and stored in protective holders. And that's what makes them so desirable. Next, let's look at color classification. Collectors value coins based on how much of the original mint red color is still visible. There are three main categories: red, RD full original mint color, the highest value red brown, RB some mint luster remains, mid-tier value brown, BN mostly darkened with age, Lower value: a 1952 no-mint mark penny in red condition with a high grade can be incredibly rare and valuable. The redder and cleaner it is, the more money it can fetch. Now let's get to the part that everyone wants to hear about: rare errors. Sometimes, mistakes happen during the minting process. These errors can turn an ordinary penny into a valuable collector's item. Here are the most important errors to look for in a 1952 wheat penny. Double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the design is stamped twice onto the same side of the coin at a slight angle, causing doubling of letters and numbers. If your penny shows doubling in the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, it could be a valuable double die variety. Some examples have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars depending on grade. Off-center strikes: if your penny looks like part of the design is missing or off to one side, it may have been struck off-center. Coins that are 50% off-center or more, especially with the full date still visible, can sell for several $100s. BIE error: this is a small vertical die crack that appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, creating what looks like the word BIE. These are not as rare, but they're fun to find and can sell for around $10 to $50 depending on condition. Lamination errors: sometimes the metal flakes or peels due to impurities during production. These coins can fetch premium prices among error collectors. Struck on the wrong planchet: if your 1952 penny looks thinner, smaller, or is a strange color, it may have been struck on a foreign planchet or a dime planchet. These can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on the rarity. How to check if your coin is valuable: if you've got a 1952 wheat penny and want to see if it's worth big money, here's what to do. Step 1. Look for a no-mint mark. If there's no D or S under the date, you're looking at a Philadelphia strike. Step 2. Check the color and surface: is it shiny red or dull brown? Red coins are worth more. Use a magnifying glass to inspect for nicks, scratches, or spots. Step 3. Inspect for errors: look closely at the date, words, and design elements. Any doubling or weird lines could mean a valuable error. Step 4. Weigh the coin. A normal copper penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. Anything more or less could indicate a planchet issue. Step 5. Consider grading: if your coin looks uncirculated or near perfect, get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. That's the only way to command top dollar. Rare coin collectors are more active than ever. With online marketplaces, auctions, and coin shows, the demand for high-grade and rare wheat pennies has surged. The 1952 no-mint mark penny, once thought to be just pocket change, now stands as a symbol of hidden value, a reminder that even the smallest things can carry great worth. Auction records prove that the best examples, especially those with perfect luster, rare errors, or high grades, are selling for thousands. And as we said before, one lucky seller recently got over $23,000 for a single coin. So, before you toss that old penny aside, take a second look. Your 1952 wheat penny could be much more than just 1 cent. It might be your ticket to a small fortune. Have a coin you want help identifying? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more coin collecting secrets, and share it with someone who loves treasure hunting. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin tells a story. Yours might be worth $23,000. Until next time, happy collecting! Have you ever come across a 1955 penny with a small D under the date and wondered what it might be worth? What if I told you that this ordinary-looking coin, minted in Denver, could be worth as much as $21,988? That's right. This small copper coin has become a treasure in the eyes of collectors, and today we'll break down exactly why. In this video, you'll discover the full history, unique characteristics, errors, grading tips, and current market value of the 1955 D Lincoln Wheat Cent. Let's find out if you might be holding a rare gem in your hands. Let's begin with the basics. The 1955 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of the classic Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 until 1958. The series was designed by Victor David Brenner and features the image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the back. This was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and it has remained iconic ever since. The obverse, or front side, shows Lincoln's portrait facing right. Above his head are the words "In God We Trust." To the left is the word Liberty, and on the right is the date, in this case, 1955. Just below the date, you'll often see a small mint mark. If your coin shows a letter D, that stands for the Denver Mint, which produced this version of the coin. Now, let's talk mintage. The Denver Mint produced 563,257,500 of these pennies in 1955. That's over 500 million coins. So naturally, people assume these coins aren't rare at all, but that's only partly true. While most 1955 D pennies are common in circulated condition, the real money lies in quality, condition, and rare errors. That's where the price shoots up into the thousands, even over $20,000. Let's now discuss what makes certain 1955 D pennies so valuable. First, let's talk about coin grade. Coin collectors use a 70-point scale called the Sheldon scale to determine a coin's condition. A coin graded MS or mint state means it has never been used in circulation. The higher the grade, the more perfect the coin. For example, MS 60 is the lowest mint state grade, and MS 70 is a perfect coin with no flaws visible even under magnification. Now, here's the important part. A regular 1955 D penny in average circulated condition is only worth a few cents, maybe up to 50 cents. But the same coin in MS 65 red, a high-grade uncirculated coin with original luster, can be worth hundreds of dollars. And at the very top of the grading scale, say MS 67 plus red, the coin can be worth as much as $21,988, like one that recently sold at a major coin auction. Why such a huge price for 1 cent? Because collectors are always chasing the best examples of every date and mint mark. The 1955 D penny in ultra-high grade is incredibly difficult to find. Even though millions were made, very few survived in perfect condition. That scarcity drives the price up. But grade isn't the only factor that can raise the value of a 1955 D penny. Mint errors can turn a regular coin into a numismatic jackpot. Let's go over some valuable varieties and errors found on this coin. First up, the double die reverse, DDR. While not as famous as the 1955 Philadelphia double die reverse, there are still subtle reverse doubling errors on the 1955 D penny. Look closely at the words E pluribus unum, 1 cent, and United States of America. If you notice doubling, that could mean your coin is a DDR variety, which can sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition. Another error to look out for is the BIE die break. This occurs when a die crack forms between the letters B and E in Liberty, forming what looks like the word BIE. These are quite collectible and typically sell for $5 to $100, depending on condition and size of the die break. Also be on the lookout for off-center strikes. If the coin was struck when not fully aligned, part of the design may be missing. A 1955 D penny with a 50% off-center strike can fetch upwards of $250 or more. Then there are the struck-through errors, where foreign materials like cloth or wire get between the die and planchet during striking. These can leave interesting impressions and add serious collector value. Another rare find is when a 1955 D wheat penny is struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, or even a foreign coin. These wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and can sell for thousands, especially when authenticated and graded. Now, if you think you might have one of these valuable pennies, here's how to check. First, use a magnifying glass or a coin loupe. Look closely at the date, mint mark, and lettering for any signs of doubling or die cracks. Second, check the coin's color. Red pennies, which have retained their original copper color, are far more valuable than brown or red-brown examples. Third, weigh your coin. A normal wheat penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, it could be a minting error. Finally, if your coin looks flawless or has a strange error, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Having it graded not only authenticates the coin but can also massively increase its resale value. Let's quickly recap what makes the 1955 D wheat penny potentially worth up to $21,988. Number 1. Condition. The highest graded coins sell for the most money. Number 2. Color. Red coins are more valuable than brown or red-brown ones. Number 3. Rare mint errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or wrong planchets. Number 4. Certification. Professionally graded coins from trusted companies are more desirable and fetch higher prices at auction. And number 5. Demand. Lincoln wheat cents are one of the most collected coin series in U.S. history, and the 1955 D is a key piece for collectors seeking high-grade examples. So, the next time you come across a penny from 1955 with a little D mint mark, don't ignore it. Look closely, check its condition, and do your research. You just might be holding a tiny copper treasure that's worth thousands, even over $21,988 in today's coin market. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and leave a comment below if you think you have a valuable 1955 D penny. This is your coin guide signing off. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? That 1-cent coin in your pocket could be your ticket to a small fortune. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. It may seem like an ordinary copper coin, but some versions of this penny are worth thousands of dollars, and one has sold for a shocking $16,266. That's right. One small penny with no mint mark from 1956 has shocked collectors and investors alike. So in this video, we're going to uncover why. We'll explore the coin's history, its unique features, its value, and the rare errors that make some of them worth a fortune. If you have an old coin jar or a collection passed down through your family, pay close attention. You might just be holding a hidden gem. Let's start with the basics. The 1956 wheat penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This design replaced the Indian head penny and was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature an actual person, a bold move at the time. The front of the coin, or obverse, shows a profile portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head is the phrase "In God We Trust." To the left side, you'll find the word Liberty, and to the right is the date, in this case, 1956. If your coin has no small letter under the date, it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, some people wonder if the lack of a mint mark means the coin is rare or an error. That's a great question. During the 1950s, coins made at the Philadelphia Mint did not carry a mint mark. So if your 1956 penny has no letter, that's completely normal. But while most of these pennies are common, there are certain conditions and error types that make specific 1956 no mint mark pennies extremely valuable. Let's talk about mintage. In total, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 420 million of these coins in 1956. That's a massive number. So in average circulated condition, most of these coins are only worth about 2 to 5 cents. But that's not the end of the story. Coin collectors and investors are always searching for pristine, high-grade coins, especially those with rare varieties or unusual errors. And that's where the value skyrockets. The real money lies in 3 important areas: grade, color, and errors. Let's break each of those down. First, the grade. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. The higher the grade, the better the condition. Coins graded from MS-60 to MS-70 are called mint state coins, meaning they've never been circulated and show no signs of wear. An MS-60 coin is at the lower end of mint state, while MS-70 is a flawless coin. A 1956 no mint mark penny in MS-65 condition could sell for $50 to $100. But once you reach MS-66 or MS-67, the value jumps into the hundreds. And when you get to a stunning MS-67 Plus with full red luster, that's where the coin can sell for over $16,000. That's right. One 1956 Lincoln wheat penny graded MS-67 red by PCGS, which stands for Professional Coin Grading Service, sold for a mind-blowing $16,266 at auction. Why? Because it combined high grade, perfect red copper color, and rarity in the top population. Out of millions of coins produced, only a tiny handful survive in this top condition. Next up is color. Copper coins like the wheat penny are graded not only on condition but also on color. There are 3 categories: brown, red-brown, and red. Red is the most desirable and most valuable. A full red coin retains its original reddish-orange copper shine as if it were just struck from the mint. Over time, most pennies turn brown due to oxidation. That's why red coins in perfect condition are extremely rare. If your 1956 penny has full red color and looks bright and lustrous, it could be worth sending to a professional grading service. That small investment could turn your penny into thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about what really excites collectors: error coins and rare varieties. These are mistakes made during the minting process, and they're highly collectible. Some of the most valuable 1956 penny errors include the double die obverse, the BIE error, off-center strikes, and die breaks. The double die obverse is one of the most sought-after errors. This happens when the coin die that strikes the penny is misaligned during production, causing doubling on the date or lettering. If you look closely and see doubling in the numbers of the date, or in the words Liberty, or In God We Trust, you might be holding a double die error. Depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition, a double die 1956 penny could fetch between $1,500 to $10,000 or more. Another interesting error is called the BIE variety. This occurs when a small die break appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, making it look like there's a tiny letter I, hence the name BIE. While not as valuable as a double die, these errors are still collectible and can bring in $20 to $100 depending on grade. Then there are off-center strikes. These happen when the coin blank, also called a planchet, is not properly centered in the coining press. A minor off-center coin may not be worth much, but if your coin is off-center by 50% or more and the date is still visible, you could be looking at a coin worth $100 to $500 or more. Some extremely rare 1956 pennies were even struck on the wrong metal planchet, such as a dime planchet or a foreign coin blank. These rare minting mistakes are often one of a kind and can sell for thousands of dollars depending on collector demand. So how do you know if your 1956 penny is valuable? Here are a few tips. First, check the coin under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe for any doubling in the date or letters. Second, look at the color. Is it bright red, or has it turned brown over time? Third, weigh the coin. A regular copper wheat penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your coin is heavier or lighter, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. Lastly, inspect for any unusual marks, cracks, or off-center designs that might indicate an error. If you think your coin might be rare or high-grade, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded. Reputable services like PCGS or NGC will authenticate your coin and assign a grade. A certified grade is essential if you plan to sell your coin at auction or to a serious collector. And remember, it's not just about what you have, but also what the market wants. Right now, there's strong demand for top-grade Lincoln wheat pennies, especially those with stunning red color and rare errors. Let's do a quick recap. The 1956 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia with over 420 million produced. Most are common and only worth a few cents. But in uncirculated condition, with bright red color and no wear, their value increases dramatically. The most valuable examples are those with rare errors like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or struck on the wrong planchet. The highest auction price for this coin is currently $16,266 for a gem-quality MS67 red specimen. So before you toss those old pennies aside, take a closer look. That little copper coin from 1956 might just change your life. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who loves treasure hunting, the Lincoln Wheat Penny series is full of surprises, and the 1956 no-mint mark penny is one of the best examples. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable penny or need help identifying one. We post weekly videos on rare coins, currency, collectibles, and tips for turning your pocket change into cash. Until next time, Happy collecting and good luck hunting for treasure. Today we're diving deep into the world of numismatics to explore a coin that may be hiding in your change jar or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. It might look ordinary, but this small copper coin has a fascinating history, and in rare conditions, it can be worth up to $12,388. So buckle up, because we're about to uncover why this humble penny is more than just pocket change. Let's start with the basics. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny was part of the long-running wheat cent series, minted from 1909 to 1958. These coins featured President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing strength and prosperity. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin became an icon of American currency. In 1957, the United States Mint struck these pennies in 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The ones minted in Denver carry a small D mint mark right below the date on the front of the coin. But the coins produced in Philadelphia have no mint mark at all. That's the one we're talking about today, the 1957 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. Now, let's talk mintage numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 282 million of these coins in 1957. That's a huge number, and it means the average 1957 no mint mark penny is fairly common. If you find one in circulated condition, the kind that's been passed around and used in everyday transactions, it's typically worth just a few cents to maybe 50 cents. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all 1957 wheat pennies are created equal. The real money lies in the coin's condition. When a coin is struck and immediately preserved with little to no wear, it's called a mint state coin. These coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The closer the grade is to 70, the more perfect the coin. For the 1957 no mint mark penny, coins in mint state 65 condition can be worth anywhere from $5 to $15. That might not sound like much, but if the coin is graded MS66, MS67, or even higher, the value starts to skyrocket. Collectors are willing to pay hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars for these pristine examples. And now, here comes the jaw-dropping part. A 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, graded MS67 with full red coloration, recently sold for an astonishing $12,388 at auction. Yes, that's right, over $12,000 for a single penny. But why? What makes a common coin worth that much? It comes down to rarity and condition. While millions were minted, only a handful have survived in perfect red condition with absolutely no blemishes, scratches, or wear. These coins are graded red or RD to indicate that they still retain their original coppery red mint luster. Most circulated wheat pennies turn brown or dull over time, so finding one with full red shine in near perfect condition is extremely rare. Now let's talk about what to look for. If you want to find a valuable 1957 penny, check for 3 things. First, it should have no mint mark, just the date 1957. Second, the coin should have full red color with no signs of oxidation or wear. And third, the coin should be flawless, no scratches, no dings, and no signs of being touched or used. If you think you have a coin like this, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can actually lower its value. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. If the coin is graded at MS67 or higher with a red designation, you could be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars. But there's more. The 1957 penny has also been known to have some rare errors and varieties. These include doubled dies, repunched mint marks on the Denver version, and off-center strikes. While these are much rarer, they can command impressive premiums depending on severity and condition. Even without an error, a standard 1957 no mint mark wheat penny in high grade can be extremely valuable due to its collector demand and rarity in pristine condition. This is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. A coin you've seen 1,000 times might suddenly turn out to be a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Let's quickly break down the values. In average circulated condition, a 1957 no mint mark wheat penny is worth between 3 and 50 cents. In uncirculated condition, graded MS60 to MS63, the value jumps to between $5 and $20. Coins graded MS65 red can sell for $30 to $75. ATMS66 red. Prices can exceed $100. ATMS67 red. The value shoots up, and that's where things get crazy. $12,388 is the highest known auction price for this coin to date. So next time you're sorting through your pocket change or opening up that old coin jar in your closet, keep an eye out for 1957 wheat pennies. Especially those with no mint mark, full red color, and perfect surfaces. You never know, you could be holding a tiny piece of American history worth a small fortune. Before we wrap up, here's one last fun fact. Even though the wheat penny series ended in 1958, millions of Americans still collect them today. They're a symbol of a different time, when a penny could buy a piece of candy or make a phone call. But now, some of those same pennies can pay for a new car or even a year of college. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more coin stories, rare finds, and valuable collectibles, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, keep searching, because treasure might be hiding in your pocket. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of one of America's last true copper coins, the legendary 1958 Lincoln wheat penny. This tiny coin, often overlooked in your pocket change, could be worth as much as $7,299. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent could make you a small fortune. So sit tight, because we're about to explore the full story behind the 1958 wheat penny, its history, its rare errors, and why collectors today are willing to pay thousands of dollars for the right one. Let's get started. First, let's go back in time to understand how this coin came into existence. It was the year 1958. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. Elvis Presley was dominating the music charts. And the Lincoln wheat cent was on its way out, soon to be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design the following year in 1959. That makes the 1958 pennies, especially the ones minted in Denver, with the D mint mark, historically significant as they represent the final full year of the iconic wheat ears reverse design. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the United States' main coin production facilities. And boy, did they make a lot of them, over 800 million to be exact. But here's the twist, not all 1958 pennies are created equal. While most of them are common and worth just a few cents, some rare examples in pristine condition or with striking errors have sold for thousands of dollars. Now, let's break down what makes these coins so valuable. The 1958 penny features the classic design that every coin enthusiast knows well. On the obverse, you have the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the same design used since 1909 to celebrate his 100th birthday. Along the edges, you'll find the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" on the left, and the date, 1958, with a small D mint mark just below it, indicating it was minted in Denver. Flip it over and you'll see the iconic wheat ears on both sides of the words, 1 cent, a simple but bold statement of value, flanked by the inscriptions, "United States of America," and "E pluribus unum," meaning, "out of many, one." It's a beautiful, classic design, and 1958 marked the end of an era. Now here's where things get interesting. Let's talk value. A circulated 1958 penny, the kind you might find in an old coin jar or pocket change, is typically worth between 3 to 10 cents. Not bad for a coin that's over 65 years old, but nothing too exciting, yet. However, the real money lies in the uncirculated, mint state examples. These are coins that were never used in commerce. They were preserved perfectly from the moment they left the mint. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC use a 70-point scale to evaluate coins. A coin graded MS60 is still uncirculated, but not flawless. However, a coin graded MS65, MS66, or higher can demand serious cash. Now here comes the jaw-dropper, a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny graded MS67 plus red, which is nearly flawless with blazing red color and full original mint luster, sold for an astonishing $7,299 at auction.so. What made that coin so special? The color, the luster, the perfect strike, and the nearly flawless surface. Red is key here. Collectors classify copper coins based on color: red, red-brown, and brown. A red penny has retained nearly all of its original coppery mint color. That's extremely rare after 60+ years. Next up, let's talk about errors and varieties, which can drastically increase a coin's value. While the 1958D is not known for many famous double dies like its Philadelphia sibling, the 1958 penny without a mint mark, it's always important to check your coins for abnormalities. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, and the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot doubling, repunched mint marks, die cracks, or off-center strikes, your coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on the severity and rarity of the error. So how do you know if you have a valuable 1958D penny? First, check the condition. If it looks brand new, you're off to a good start. Second, examine the color. If it's a bright, coppery red with no discoloration, you might have a premium example. Third, use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect for any errors or varieties. And finally, get it graded. Submitting your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC is the best way to authenticate and establish its true market value. Collectors love Lincoln wheat cents, especially high-grade examples of the final year. There's nostalgia, rarity, and historical appeal all wrapped into one small coin. And because so many people collected them as kids, the demand for perfect specimens continues to grow, pushing prices higher and higher. Now let's recap. The 1958D Lincoln wheat penny is one of the last of its kind. Though common in lower grades, high-end examples in mint state condition, especially those with a bright red color, can fetch thousands of dollars. In fact, one MS67 Plus red example sold for an incredible $7,299, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln wheat cents ever sold from that year. And mint.so. Don't ignore that old jar of pennies in your drawer. That dusty roll in your grandpa's attic. That forgotten coin stuck between couch cushions. Your next treasure could be a 1958D penny worth thousands. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more rare coin facts, values, and numismatic discoveries. Hit the notification bell so you never miss another chance to find treasure in your change. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting.